What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another massive episode today of Leon Live. It's episode number 26. It's going to be a barnstormer. Bayern and Barcelona today in the Champions League. If you missed last episode for whatever reason, do go check it out. If you didn't watch till the end and you didn't see the game versus PSG, go back and watch it. It was the best game of the series so far for me personally. And, today we continue onwards and upwards, and, we've got some big games on the horizon. Of course, we are at the start of November now, and you can see that, today we've got some massive games. And, in between the sandwich of Champions League fixtures, we have Montpellier in 6th and Bordeaux in 13th. So, not freebies by any means. You can see here, away against Bayern to start today. Could be a slightly easier match, going into things today. In terms of what I'm thinking with the team selection for this first game, I am honestly thinking we go with the same team that just beat PSG, both potentially in team and in system. I do wonder if trying to control the play might be better than the more attacking style of play, but I do feel like this 11 in front of us is right now our best starting 11 just based on current form, and it's not that dissimilar to the team that I considered my best 11 at the start of the year. The changes come down the left-hand side where Memphis Depay and Moreno just haven't played that great. Depay's contract's up in 18 months. I'm wondering if I should try and shift him on. Juve are interested. I am almost tempted just to offer him out, just to test the waters. I don't want to say he's been underwhelming for us, but I feel like with St. Maximin playing as well as he is, I just feel like he's always going to be on the bench for us. And with his contract running low and him wanting a massive wage rise, which I'm really not prepared to give him, this being Depay, of course, I just feel like, maybe it's time to try and move him on whilst we can for some money. And then at left-back, Moreno's just been kind of a little bit poor. Someone mentioned in the comments section, you should train him to play left-back and as a wing-back, because that's what you play him in. You're probably not wrong, although we are already training him as full-back. There really isn't a great difference between the two roles, but we'll make it so it's the exact role we're playing here. That does mean, of course, with Moreno not playing so well, there's a spot for in the team for Ferland Mendy to come in, and, this guy I really do rate. Last year he missed out a fair bit on football because of that major injury. A broken foot to kind of start the season against Juventus was what held him back. Since then, though, he's come back pretty strong, and this year he's been top draw when we've called upon him in the league. So I feel like it's time to maybe consider him our first team regular. Anyway, we'll see how we get on today. As I said, today's big game's really the Champions League ones. But given how the league table's looking, I really don't want to let things slip, I really don't want to play a weakened team in the league that could, leave us vulnerable. I say all this with the caveat that when we have played a weaker team this year, I think we've won more often than we've lost, so I can't really complain that much. Apparently Ndombele might be a little down. He wants a new contract. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's got 3.5 years left on his current deal, and whilst I really do rate him, I just don't feel like I can give him a wage rise at this moment in time. Fekir unable to solve his unhappiness. Let's have a chat with him. He feels like he deserves a new contract. I'm going to say that the club can't afford to offer him new terms right now, which normally would be a lie, but we are literally over the wage budget at the moment, so it's not even a lie. I'm going to tell him that he needs to earn his contract. Okay. He's not happy. He's not happy. Can we just offer him a new contract? I'm kind of scared for how much he's going to ask for here. He's desperate to be a key player. And he's desperate for improvements, right? First team player. How much is he going to want? 70,000. I mean, I really do like him. But he's not worth that much a week. I've already caved in and given Aouar more than I'd like. And that was, you can see here, 47,500. I don't really want to go more than Bertrand Traore for Ndombele. As good as he's been at centre mid and as irreplaceable as I feel like he probably is, I just feel like, he's not worth that kind of money. I feel like I'd comfortably put him in the £50 million range, perhaps go as high as 60. Certainly not as high as he values himself. He asked for 73. I'm going to lowball to begin with. I have just removed the wage increase after international appearance clause here, and also I think it was a yearly wage rise or a sell-on clause that he had in. He's probably not going to be that happy, but he's going to have to grit his teeth and deal with it. He's upped his demands to 83. As I said, I don't want to go above 60. As good as he is, even right now, I don't feel like he's quite up there at I feel like 60 is too much. He's got unhappy when I've offered him 57 and suggested 69, I think. I'm going to offer him 60,000. I'm going to up the agent fee a little bit. And, well, it wasn't enough for him. Ultimately, though, I don't really want to break my wage structure for him. If he was in, like, the last few years of his deal, I might be inclined to pay above the odds to keep hold of him. But with 3.5 years left on his current deal, there isn't really an incentive for me to let him go. But there's no reason whatsoever that we have to sell him here. We can just keep hold of him and see what he can do. No offers for Depay, which isn't entirely surprising. I don't really want to offer him out too much to risk unhappiness. Trincao putting in another good performance for the reserves, which is good to see. More of that, please, my son. More of that. More improvement there, and I'll be a very happy bunny. Anyway, let's continue onwards and upwards. We're at home for the game against Bayern today, so I feel like that's going to be a good chance for us to hopefully get a win against them, against the odds. Of course, we drew away from home against them. Oh, sorry, we drew at home against them. We're away from home today. Sorry, I'm getting confused with the fixtures. When we did play them at home, we drew 0-0. We're, of course, at home for Barcelona, who were Messi-less last time we met. Apparently, Olmo and Trincao are unhappy about their individual focus on pace. Apparently, it's not helping them at all. I mean, it's not incorrect. They've not really improved their quickness, but any kind of even minor change for Olmo would be huge. For Trincao, he's not that happy about being trained in his shooting. You know what? I'm going to have to just concede defeat, I think, with this. We'll keep training him. I've got him currently being trained as an inside forward. Just wonder if there's a better role, actually, we could train him in here. Maybe something like a playmaker-y kind of option. Doesn't really help his shooting, though, which would be good to improve. Wide target man is actually surprisingly good for kind of improving a player attacking-wise going forward. With Trincao here, he's already got good vision and passing. He's never going to be the kind of standout in either of those regards to be a playmaker, and his technique's already good. Wide target man might not be the most crazy suggestion to do here, although I would still kind of like to have a focus on quickness just to try and eke a tiny bit more pace out of him. I mean, you can see here a pace of 13.4, acceleration of 13.6. There has actually been improvement in those. And we did start him off on quickness training at the start of the year, so I'm going to put them back on. He is only kind of 19, 20 years old, so he's in a position where he can continue, I think, to improve. Dene has been left out of the Belgian international squad. It's not entirely surprising. He's not been playing that regularly for me. I do like Dene. I feel like he's not a bad backup at all, and there is an argument to say that he should perhaps be on the bench ahead of Marcelo, who is on his way out, it feels like. But at the same time, he hasn't got anything on our two starting centre-backs in Wallace and Lenglet. I've got to say, with Lenglet, obviously, big transfer of the summer. Very small fee, really. 8.5 million. A 7.28 average rating is really, really positive. Hopefully, he's obviously going to be able to continue kind of on this trajectory and only get better in the first team. He's been top draw for us. Anyway, let's get into the game against Bayern here. I think to start with, I'm going to try and control the play. That is inevitably a risk when we're away from home. If it doesn't work out for us, we might switch to the crowding out the midfield system. With Ndombele being unhappy, I am almost tempted to drop him, you know. Thing is, in 2 of the last 3 games, he has got goals, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So maybe I should just keep playing him. I wish that he wasn't kicking up a fuss, because I really rate him as a player, but he's just got demands which I just don't feel like are acceptable right now. Anyway, we're going to go with Mendy and Saint-Maximin on the left-hand side. No other drastic changes, really. The rest of the team kind of picks itself. For them, fairly familiar kind of back four and goalkeeper. Even the midfield is not that dissimilar. They've got Locatelli playing for them at centre-mid, the 21-year-old, bought for £13 million. He's a pretty good centre-mid for £13 million, I'll give it to them. But other than that, it's kind of the Bayern team you'd perhaps expect. Lewandowski scored 8 goals in 15 games this year. I feel like he's the man we've got to try and shut down. And, well, let's see what we can do here. Away from home, undeniably the underdogs. Given the fact we've drawn against Bayern and Barcelona, any kind of result here would be massive. It would put us in a really good position. Even a draw would be very, very positive. At the same time, if we were to lose here, given the fact that Barcelona do look like our closest rivals, I'm not going to lose sleep at night if we can't get a result here away from home. It's not going to be easy. We're trying to control the play early on, and to be truth be told, it's just not really worked out for us early on here. Barca taking the lead against Salzburg away from home. After 20 minutes with not a great deal of chances and not a great deal of the ball for us, I'm going to just change the system. It's the standard change. There's nothing too crazy going on there. Obviously, our kind of players that we have on the pitch fit a pretty wide variety of formations. It leaves us quite flexible, it feels like, to react to games like this one. And I do feel like just crowding out the midfield might be the better option here. Bayern on the attack, but the ball is with Bertrand Traore. Can we catch them out on the counter? Lovely ball over. Dembele's going to be through. Only Boateng to go around. Takes it round and hits it over in the end. It was a really nice bit of build-up play. Just unfortunate that the finish wasn't quite there for us. I noticed that Barcelona are 2-0 up against Salzburg, so it doesn't look like we're going to be getting a repeat of the previous game between those two sides. And, well, half-time here, 0-0. Of course, it was 0-0 last time we met Bayern at home. I mean, at least we're consistently holding them even. Truth be told, that was a first kind of half devoid of any chances. There just wasn't anything to speak of. Kind of interesting how we both have very, very creative teams, but somehow whenever we play each other just seem to stifle out that creativity. Fekir's not having the best game, neither is Dembele. Mendy's picked up a booking and is having a pretty poor game. I'm actually going to bring in Moreno just because Mendy's not had the best game. I feel like fullback, for me, is one of the positions where individual errors cost you the most in Football Manager. You know, if a fullback has a low average rating, it feels like they are the more likely kind of player out of anyone on the pitch to contribute to a goal kind of going against you. If that makes sense. I'd be interested to know, is that just me or do other people feel like that? I just feel like a fullback, when they're having a bad day, it's a very bad day. And, well, it's a bad day here for us. Lewandowski scored. Locatelli with the assist. How did this come about here? This was very, very weird. I thought we'd won the ball and I thought we were safe. It was Alaba with it initially. Good tackle. Fekir, does he just get caught out with possession? He does. Locatelli steals it away from him. And, well, a free ball to Lewandowski finds the back of the net. I'm going to change the system. We're going to go to the 4-2-3-1 direct attacking system. I'm going to take out Dembele. I'm going to bring in Joseph Martinez, who's been in some okay goal-scoring form. And Toussaint at ball in midfield has been pretty poor. So I'm going to bring in Lucas Romero there with our final change. Not kind of adjusting a great deal in the final third, but I feel like between Traore, Fekir and Saint-Maximin, we have players who can just make a goal out of nothing. And, well, we might be lucky to still be in this. Alaba with a free kick against us. Lovely stop, it's got to be said, by Lopez in goal. 10 minutes left. We're already playing the more direct attacking style of play. We've just not created enough today. Neither team's had a great deal of chances. Bayern have had more shots on target. They probably deserve to be 1-0 up. I mean, ultimately, even if this remains 1-0 here, I want to believe there's still a chance we can make something happen. But 1-0, you know, wouldn't be an end of the world result. Away from home against Bayern, it's such a tough place to come. I certainly wouldn't kind of panic too much about it. We always knew we were going to be in a tough group. We already got points against Bayern and obviously against Barcelona. I'm still hoping there's a chance of another late goal similar to the PSG goal here. Maybe it could happen still. Bertrand Traore, Martinez. Wide to Moreno, whips it in, it's cleared away. That's going to be the game. A tight game, not a classic. And, well, I'm not particularly happy with the performance out there, boys. A 1-0 defeat. Not the end of the world. We weren't completely outplayed, unlike PSG, who lost 3-0 against Liverpool. But there probably was room for improvement there. Thiago picking up man of the match. Looks like there were some other games going on here. Were these in the league? They may well have been. Cornet had an okay game, got a goal. Markovic, not a classic for him. Shadas, another goal. He is actually putting in some very good performances for Nîmes. And actually, when you look at his polygon, he looks pretty blooming good, doesn't he? The 21 Portuguese youngster. I like the look of him for the future. You've got to bear in mind, he is playing for Nîmes, who are yet to win a game this year. And he is their top goal scorer, which is something. He's got a 7.02 average rating in a team that's yet to win in the league. I feel like that's not that bad. Anyway, next game here is a big one. We've actually got a ton of suspensions for this game against Montpellier. Not an ideal situation to be in, I'll be completely honest with you. We're going to have to make some changes here. At right back, Romero's going to have to come in, although Toussaint is suspended as well, so I need Romero there, really. That means that Kenny Lala is going to come in at right back. I mean, probably a player who deserves a bit more first-team football. Last year we called upon him, 12 times, and he always played well. He's played well in the reserve team this year. He's going to get a nod in the starting 11. I feel quite confident that he can turn up big for us. Ndombele's looking pretty exhausted here, and whilst I'm going to rest the team a little bit, I think we will bring in Aouar there. We could bring Gnanon onto the bench. There is a debate to say that Gnanon should play at centre-back ahead of Marcelo, who is playing for us in this game, at least as things stand. Marcelo, age 32, Gnanon, age 22. There's one player here who I need to keep happier than the other, and it is Gnanon. There's also a debate to say maybe Denayer should be given some game time ahead of Lenglet. I mean, we could just go for the double change here. 2 right-footed centre-backs. I can deal with that, I think. Mendy we could drop for Moreno just to keep the legs fresh there. Higher up the pitch, a few exhausted players here. I think we'll play Terrier out on the left. We'll play... I'm always tempted to play Olmo out on the right and give Bertrand Traoré just a bit more of a rest in the team, although I might need him on the bench. Dembele's not having the best bit of form lately, so Joseph Martinez is going to come in for him. Do I want to play Depay for Fekir just to maximise rotation, really kind of give a completely different 11 a chance today? I feel like I do, and that might seem odd, that might seem like a needless risk, but ultimately we have a lot of young players here. I mean, when you look at the whole first team, it's all very young. It's players mostly in their early 20s, a few in their mid-20s, and a few in their slightly older 20s than just Marcelo in an age bracket of his own. But ultimately there are players here, when we organise by age, who just haven't played enough football this year. There's perhaps a chance here to give them a bit of game time. I'm actually tempted. I'm going to play Olmo, I think, because he's played so well. Terry has actually not played that great this year. With that in mind, I think I might even just have him on the bench instead of Bertrand Traoré. And then have Trincao start out on the right. Of course, Trincao has already played one game for us this year in the league, and he got an 8.0 rating. For the reserves, he's been top drawer as well. So maybe he just deserves a shot in the first team. It's going to be a tricky game here. You can see we've got Montpellier. We do have a game in hand on them, and we are already a point clear. But we are going to need to beat them, and it's maybe going to be a bit tricky just because, as I mentioned, we are lacking a little bit in the way of fresh legs. This game coming not that long after our previous Champions League game. Anyway, you can see here Dembele considered the leading player for most league sides. Apparently playing close to his maximum potential. I mean, he looks like a top draw player. It's just a case of he should be performing a little bit better than he is at the moment for us. Of course, we have changed the system a little bit to have, well, a complete forward instead of an advanced forward. So far, we've not really reaped that much in the way of benefits with that change. Anyway, a little bit nervous here. Lala out for 1 to 3 days. That is a real shame. That means he's not going to be available for selection. Does leave us light on right backs. What we'll do is we'll bring Denayer in at right back, and then actually we'll give Marcelo the nod at centre back. So Marcelo, the old guard, one of our kind of leaders in the dressing room, he is going to get some first team football. He thought he was going to be missing out again. No, we're going to give it to him. You can see here Mario Ferreira, another assist for Sochaux. Very good stuff there. Maxi playing actually for Metz against Sochaux. He is improving a lot. Really, really like the look of this guy a lot. As a kind of deeper line playmaker, he... I don't know, he looks top drawer, doesn't he? I've not really looked at the French national team lately, like the youth teams, just to see if there's any, super good young players that we're not aware of who are coming through. We have Jean-Marc Vincent, who of course is one of our own players. Did he gen at the club? Indeed he did. He's pretty good, isn't he? I like him. Who else have we got? We've got Lemaitre, who if we look here plays for Nice. We've got Noah Mass, who again, another player who plays for Nice. He actually looks like a very good right back. Let's get a scout report on him. Are there any other youngsters who have been promoted up through the teams? Indeed there are. A few players here we already know about because they're our own players. We've got Durand in here, who of course was one of our youth intake players. Voisin Verdier, who we signed in the summer, and 2 more players we signed in the summer actually. Karim Felly, who is looking to improve even more as of late. He looks top draw. And Quentin Auger, who, I mean, he looks exceptional, doesn't he? Please continue to perform. Even if you are consistent, you just look like a world-class kind of playmaker in the making, aged 15. There's just a few players here who I'm wondering if we should be looking at. Lorient have a player here. You can see 16-year-old Simon Guillet, or Simon Guillet is probably more accurate. And then there's a few other players who are all real players who, I don't want to say they appeal to me less, but they're not quite as interesting, you know? Anyway, you can see here the overall setup. I assume there's no Regens playing in the under-21s yet. Indeed, there's not. William Gabels, I mean, I love this guy a lot. He's very, very good in Football Manager terms. I don't know if there's ever a chance we could realistically sign him, but he's a very, very good player, isn't he? He looks exceptional, as you could see there. Anyway, this is a big league game for us. It's a game that we would expect to win at the start of the season, and even now I expect us to win it, but Montpellier have just been performing above and beyond all expectation. If we just look at their overview here, media prediction of 13th. I mean, Mbenza and Akaka, I think it is, they're kind of star players for them. Akaka, is he the guy who plays for Watford? Indeed he is. They've got him on loan. He's actually played very well for them there. Their hot prospect is this guy, Traore. I mean, why not just get a scout report on him in case he's good? We may as well. Nothing to lose whatsoever. Anyway, we've got a few suspensions for today's game. We are also playing a significantly rotated team, but despite the complete rotation, when you look at this, this is a team that should be challenging for a Champions League spot, I feel like, in League, you know, if it was a starting 11 for a team. So I'm hoping that we're going to see that proven today. Looking at Aouar and Romero in the centre of the midfield to perform well. Depay, of course, a player who's kind of fallen out of first-team contention with Saint-Maximin playing so well. Maybe a chance for him today playing that kind of Fekir role in the team to show us what we're missing out on and maybe convince me that he should be the starter in our team despite Saint-Maximin's fantastic start to the year. Anyway, let's see how we do here. Away from home, Denayer booked after 1 minute. I mean, that is not particularly pleasing. Looking at it here, we are currently set up with the control system. I think that's the system I want to start with here. I'm just a little bit wary of getting hit on the break. But depending on how things go, we may switch, you know, to the more attacking 4-2-3-1. But I feel like for this kind of game, we need to show respect against Montpellier. They have very good players to hit us on the break. Some quick players out on the wings, as we saw with Mbenza. And I feel like this is the kind of game where if we just have a stranglehold on it, I hope that we can just, you know, suffocate them essentially, you know, just play football against them, and over the course of 90 minutes, the dominant possession, hopefully the dominant territory in their half is going to see us eventually be able to find a breakthrough. Anyway, they've got a ton of players here on the counter-attack from a set-piece. It falls to Dolly, might have an effort, tries to get it in, it's blocked away. But, well, you could see there the danger on the counter-attack. Memphis steps up and tucks it in the bottom corner. It's his 5th goal of the season. That's not a bad total at all. He started the year very hot, scoring plenty against teams struggling in the league. And, well, he's added another goal for us here that does see us right now go top of the league. I don't know if Lecomte in goal could have done a little bit better for them there. It didn't look like the most ferocious of free kick efforts. Just kind of crept in to that kind of near post. I feel like he's going to be disappointed. Denayer on a booking. We will tell him to just ease out of tackles. But so far, so good. 64% of the ball. We've had significantly more chances than them in terms of just shots. In terms of crafting out more clear-cut opportunities, we are lacking a little bit at the moment. But I'm not going to panic and change things too drastically just yet. At half-time here, it is going to be 1-0. It's not a bad little result as things stand. A PSG playing today, they're drawing against Rennes. So that is a good result for us if it can stay like that. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with their performance. I almost told them I was happy, and then I thought back to all the times where I've told teams at 1-0 up at half-time that I'm happy, and they've gone on to get complacent. We can't afford that here. We need to keep our heads screwed on. We need to stay in this game, continue the way we've been playing. Maybe score 1 or 2 more just to give me a bit more comfort would be nice. I did notice that PSG have just scored in their game, so they're now 1 goal up. So the win here, all the more important for us. Dani Olmo bringing the ball forward, dinks it into Joseph Martinez. Can he finish it? Of course he can. 3rd goal of the season for him, and, well, a lovely ball through by Dani Olmo, a player who has had a few kind of opportunities in the first team. When we've given them to him, he's always contributed, it feels like. He's scored goals, he's got assists, and, well, Martinez with a 3rd goal of the season, quickly making me wonder, maybe he should be playing ahead of Dembele, a player who really struggled to find form last year. I did have a few offers for him in the summer. I almost let him go in the summer. But, well, when we've given him opportunities thus far this season, he's done very, very well. I am going to make some changes despite the goals. I'm going to take off Depay for Terrier, and I think I'm going to bring in Mendy for Moreno at left back. Just a little bit of rotation. Mendy was kicking up a little bit of a fuss, you might remember, about lack of first team football. I feel like him and Moreno are two fairly evenly matched players, so I want to give them, I feel like, fairly even game time at this point. At the same time, in a game like this where we're 2 goals up, we can afford to just bring him on to give him a bit more time. Anyway, lovely play by Terrier out on the wing there. Unfortunately, Martinez's heading was a little bit lacking. Just didn't quite get the direction on it to find its way into the back of the net. And it was dealt with there by Montpellier. Can we get the ball here high up the pitch? Mendes with it, dilly-dallying. Can we force an error out of them perhaps? Or is this just the pointless highlight that follows a real highlight? I'm not sure. We're about to find out. Mendy wins it. Can he get it forward? It's hoofball. Martinez is going to latch onto that though. He's through on goal. It's a tight angle, but it is a lovely finish. Mendy on off the bench for an assist. Martinez with his 2nd goal of the game. And maybe he's finding some form. This is what I brought him in to do last year, Martinez. We paid him £50,000 a week. There was expectations that he was going to be a goal scorer for us. And well, goal scorer he is becoming. 3-0 up here against Montpellier. They are, or were, 3rd in the league. I feel like they're going to be slipping down the pecking order just a little bit off the back of this. But, well, what a performance this is. We might even be able to get another hour. Edge the box to Terrier. To Dani Olmo. Hits it not far wide at all. The keeper didn't even react to that. But, yeah, you can see here. 3-0 is how it's going to finish. Top performance. We had so much more of the play than them. Just head and shoulders above the rest. You can see here, Joseph Martinez, man of the match for him with his 2 goals. Unfortunately for us, PSG did score. We can have a look here. They won 3-0 in the end, actually, and Neymar missed a penalty. Elsewhere in the league, Lille won, so they closed the gap on us. Well, don't close the gap, but maintain the gap on us to 2 points. Like ourselves, they do have a game in hand on some of the teams around them, and you can see, similarly to them, Marseille down on 24 points, also with a game in hand. Anyway, boys, very pleased with that performance. I think we do have now a week off, maybe even a little more than a week until our next game. It's going to be another league game. You can see here Marion playing for Dijon, had a poor game, played 17 minutes. Markovic again playing football, which is great to see. Of course he's playing football. He's a footballer, Jack. But you know what I mean. He's playing regular first team football. Despite losing, you can see the development for him has been top notch at Auxerre. Can we actually compare him to how he was before? I don't know if it works when a player's out on loan. I don't think you can, which is a bit of a shame because, well, it's just one of my favourite things to do in FM is to find a player, click on them, and then just compare them to how they were 12 months ago. So you can see here directly how Saint-Maximin has changed. Not a great deal of kind of significant change in his ability, but it's just a nice thing to be able to do, and it would be nice if you could see it with players like Markovic, who has been away. Kanate also playing for Lille. Not the best average rating for him, but again, just more regular first-team football. Serving his development superbly. Hopefully he can continue to develop. Martinez, man of the match. I mean, like, I've criticised Martinez a lot when he's not done well. When he does do well, I feel like I should be praising him, really. Looking at it here, we are going to go into an international break, so it'll be interesting to see if anything comes of the next 2 weeks. I'm not expecting that much. You know, it's the mid-November international break. It's not really happening while the transfer window is still open or there's really that many opportunities for super exciting things to happen. But, well, a good chance for some of our players to perhaps recoup some fitness, get a bit of a rest if they're not on international duty, and hopefully come back sharp. You can see here, Nîmes, they won their first game of the year. They're off the bottom of the table. How did Janas do for them? He did absolutely nothing, but they won. And that's the main thing, isn't it? That's great for them. I feel like I'm partially invested in Nîmes' season with them having Shadas in their team. They're in a relegation battle with the likes of Nice, who we also have players on loan at, but Nîmes, I don't know, they were predicted to be bottom of the league. They're the underdogs. I can't help but cheer them on a little bit. That is until we come to play them, at which point I just want to absolutely exterminate them and spank them silly. You can see here, Mendy developing well. That largely down to first team football. Definitely need to continue giving him that. Looking at his current contract, he's up in, well, 3.5 years' time. I could offer him a new deal. It's probably not worth offering him a new deal just to give it a 1-year extension. You can see here a few of our players appearing in the Team of the Week, including Depay, but also Gnanon, who had a apparently really underrated game. If we look here, he got an 8.1. I mean, fair play to him. 22 years old, young French player, returning to France. Will be interesting to see how he gets on. Also, Bordeaux sacking De Boer. I thought Bordeaux were doing quite well this year. Are they just off the pace now? They're down in 15th. What was their prediction? 5th. Okay, I can understand why he's been sacked. Worth noting, we've got them in their next game, so they're going to be looking to bounce back against us, which is a tiny bit kind of scary. You never really want to play a team, at least in my opinion, off the back of them. Off the back of them getting a new manager in, because you don't really know what to expect. Marin playing on the international stage for Croatia, got 76 minutes, got an assist. Was that his debut? Indeed, it was. That's really good to see. Hopefully Dijon start playing him a little bit more, because he hasn't had the most amount of first team football. You can see here Ndombele still complaining. I'm looking to get... I feel like we want a little bit more. I feel like we want a little bit more for Ndombele before I give him a new contract, at least of the amount he wants. You know, right now I can't afford to make him kind of the 5th highest earner at the club. I like him, and he'd be very difficult for us to replace, but with our current wage structure and our current squad and his performances, I just don't see a world in which he's worth the kind of money that he wants. The good news is that he is actually happy with my kind of statement saying that he's not getting one right now, but he needs to earn it. I'm hoping that his demands will go down as the season goes on. Whether or not that's realistic, I mean, we will find out in due course, I guess. Anyway, 8 days to go. Looking at this, we've got the player Mass, who plays for Nice. I mean, he looks okay, doesn't he? He's a consistent performer, pacey. Apparently not got the craziest potential, at least off first glance. You can see here Guillet playing for Lorient. I mean, he looks very, very good. Not the best player in the air, but as a fullback, or rather as a very limited fullback, he could be good. He's a bit of a weird one because he's very, very good. If you wanted a no-nonsense centre-back, he'd be superb. But that 8 jumping reach and 11 heading is just not particularly great. And I don't know if you could really play him as a right-back or a left-back because he just doesn't offer anything whatsoever going forward. But he is very, very young. He's kind of that weird player where he looks great, but I'm not sure where you could actually play him. He's a good footballer, but he's just not great at any one position. You almost would be better off going and playing futsal or something where height doesn't matter quite so much, although perhaps doesn't have the technical ability to play that. So maybe that's not the best idea after all. Anyway, a few more players we were scouting here. No one really shining. Good to see Antonio Marin on off the bench again. If nothing else, it's hopefully helping his development, getting a bit of first-team football for the Croatian national team. Not noticed any more kind of reports from our players out on international duty. Mario Ferreira, 2 assists for him again. I mean, look at his development. Yes, please, more of this. Sochaux just proving to be a very, very good club for him to play for. 6 goals, 6 assists, 3 player of the matches. And he's just improving as a player as well, of course. Sochaux just have great youth development. They have great youth facilities, coaching, and it's serving him very, very well. He's kind of playing at a level that I think he's a little bit above. But I feel like Ferreira at the same time probably wouldn't be able to play for a League 1 team just yet. He's just not quite up to the kind of top French league kind of quality. So where he is right now is perhaps a good area. Just looking at the under-19s here. Is it worth just having a look at the under-19s, Group B? Who are the standout players? Any regens looking particularly good? This Auxerre playmaker looks okay. He's a little bit limited in his play, isn't he? You've got Justin Masson, who plays for Sochaux. Who's this guy? I mean, he looks very good. Kofi Urusama. Great name. Bit of an interesting polygon. But he looks okay. We'll get a scout report on him, certainly, just to kind of, I guess, get some familiarity with him. I can't stress how important it is with Football Manager. Even if you're not using the player search screen, just, click through a few screens like I did there every so often. Go and check, the under-21 national team. Sometimes it's the best way to find young players. You don't need to hunt far and wide for them. Sometimes you'll just stumble across them with not a great deal of effort. Anyway, PSG are being linked with Pogba a lot. I'm a little bit scared of the idea of Pogba playing for PSG, because I feel like we're already struggling against them. I don't know where they're going to get this money from to be able to afford him. But it feels like every other news item that we've seen over the last couple of episodes has been a link with Pogba potentially going over to PSG. You can see here Lenglet has improved a hell of a lot in training apparently. And, he absolutely has. At 24 years old, it's difficult to know if he's going to have that much more room to improve. But, I mean, he just looks top draw for us. Really, really like him. Has okay leadership as well. I almost want to send him on a leadership course. Apparently it wouldn't be suitable right now. He has 14 leadership. He kind of strikes me as the kind of player with a perfectionist personality who could be an ideal kind of, I don't know, I want to say future club captain. Anyway, we've got Guingamp in the 4th round of the League Cup equivalent. I don't know what the name of it is in French. I'm just going to draw parallels to the English competition. It's the Coupe de la Ligue, BKT. Yeah, there you go. Just a name that rolls off the tongue, Ndombele apparently still trying to force a move. I mean, it's not great, is it? It's not great. I was hoping I could maybe get a player to talk to him about his lack of unhappiness. I'm going to suggest that we might be willing to offer him a new contract and see if we can maybe go back to the drawing board with him. I still feel like he needs to drop his wage demands to at least £60,000. So Ndombele sees that offer now as a promise, but we can at least now offer him it. First team player, he wants 72. I'll give you 60. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? I'm going to go 62. Is 65 too much? Okay, 65. On the one hand, it ensures that we have him tied down at the club, and I do really rate him. On the other hand, it's a lot of money. But on the third hand, because I have 3 hands because I'm an octopus, at some point we are going to have to break the wage structure. Like this kind of money isn't realistic. If I was to offer Depay a new deal, he's going to want over £100,000, I imagine. That's kind of just the world that we live in modern football. If I negotiate here, I have this horrible feeling he's going to want significantly more than what he's currently on. If we just use his existing contract, I'll offer it up to 75 and then give him an extension. You can see he's immediately shot up to £95,000 a week. It's a pain. But that is the reality here, is that I am going to have to break our kind of fairly modest wage structure at some point, especially to go toe-to-toe with PSG. I mean, the thing of note is the fact that although we are over our current wage budget, we are very much a team with very good finances. In fact, maybe I can just ask for an increased wage budget. I can at the second time of asking. See, our wage budget is good. But it is just kind of a situation where I have to accept at some point I am going to have to start offering players above £100,000 a week if I want to really go toe-to-toe with PSG. I just don't know if Depay is a player worth giving that kind of money to. I'm going to give him what I think is a fair deal. I don't really want to lose Depay on a free, and with 18 months left of his current deal, even if he isn't playing that well, I'd rather give him a £13,000 wage rise, which sees his value skyrocket. Perhaps means we can get a little more money for him. I don't think he's going to get 20 goals in a season. So I'm going to tell him if he does that, that I will give him £1 million. I mean, it sounds like I'm doing like a playground bet. If you score 20 goals, I'll give you £1 million. If you score 30 goals, I'll give you £1 million as well. Okay. I feel it's a bit more performance-based than it would have otherwise been. Watch him now score a load of goals. I'd be interested to know down in the comments, would you offer that kind of deal to Depay? I know he's not played that well, but he's a very, very good player. It's not a massive wage rise compared to what he's already on. And it just means we're guaranteed to not lose him for nothing or below his market value, which is a bit of a concern if I'm being honest. You know, as much as he isn't playing that well, and I was offering him out to Juventus a couple of weeks ago just to see if we could get in the range of £50 million. If we wait until the end of the season or even January, the chances are that with him having limited time left on his current contract, we're just going to be in a situation where we lose him for 20 million or something. You know, it'd be pretty disappointing. Anyway, DJ's been poor in training. We're going to award him. Mendy's doing well. Ndombele's doing well. Trincao, look at that. Look at that improvement. That's what you get for just playing him in one game in the first team. I've been very pleased. I mean, I'm happy now. Just a sudden jump up in overall performance. And that is what first team football can do for a player. You know, giving him a handful of appearances here and there is going to make a difference. Anyway, let's get into this game. We're at home against Bordeaux. I have got one eye ahead at this point to the game that we've got coming up against Brain. Please help me here. Against Barcelona. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to stick with the exact same rotated team that played the previous game so well. We're going to play the more direct attacking style of play because we are at home. Bordeaux are struggling. They're low on confidence. I feel like, you know, trying to hurt them is perhaps the way to go. You can see for them, they're playing a very defensive system. It's going to be interesting to see how we get on here. We'll have to be wary perhaps of being hit on the counter. Whilst they have got 5 men kind of across the back, they have also got 2 strikers. And if we do overcommit with our wing-backs and such, we could potentially leave our centre-backs in a 2v2. Which might not be ideal. We'll see how things go. They've got a pretty good team. They've got players like Sergi Semper in their team. And Mitroglou, Raul Di Tomas. We've got to be wary. But we have quality going forward. And this lineup showed quality previously. So that's why I want to stick with it. Maybe Martinez can get a few more goals for his collection. Anyway, we're committing men high up the pitch here. We do force the arrow out of them. Gananon, again, just playing today. Hopefully he's going to show us his worth. Danea whips it in. Martinez finished that. I mean, Joseph Martinez has found his shooting boots. Did he leave them in America for a year? Either way, he scored again for us. He is in some good form. To the point where he is probably going to be coming in with Dembele. And I'm wondering with Marcus Rashford and all the injury problems he's had, and the fact that, of course, we do have £34 million Moise Kean joining us in January. Maybe I need to send Rashford back to Manchester. You know, between Moise Kean, Dembele and Martinez, maybe we have 3 very kind of good goal scorers there. Anyway, we can't get too complacent here. Bordeaux did just carve us open and have a half chance. Fortunately for us, the keeper did hold on to it. Going to be interesting to see how this game progresses here. Olmo, forward to Memphis. Martinez with it. Looks like he's a very, very good complete forward. He's looked very good in this role. Danea, deja vu about this as Danea puts in the ball. Can't pick out Martinez like he did previously, but he's put in some balls of quality as Danea at right back. Maybe you could do another here from deep. Goes inside to Aouar this time. To Memphis. From range. Gives it to Trincao, who hits it. Oh my gosh, it's a screamer. It's an absolute screamer from Francisco Trincao. I don't know if that's hit the keeper on the back or if that is the backspin that has taken it in. But it's in off the underside of the crossbar. It's one of the finest sights in football. Memphis, I thought he was going to have a go. Instead he lays off Trincao. One touch, hits it. I think that has spun in. I do not think that has hit the keeper on the back. I almost want to check. Can we go back here? We can. Let's have a look. Does this hit the keeper on the back? Answers on a postcard. He hits it. I think that's just spun in. It's not hit the back of the net with that much power. What a goal that was, though, by Trincao. Is that his first senior goal for us? I know it says it's his 4th goal of the season. His 3 previous came, you can see here in the reserves. He did actually get a goal for us last season, but I don't remember it being quite as memorable as that one. What a finish that was by the young Portuguese inside forward. Cristiano Ronaldo, eat your heart out, son. Maybe I shouldn't big him up too much yet, but lovely finish. Wins the ball again here. I mean, who is Bertrand Traore? Remind me. Martinez, trying to apply some pressure at the back. Can we really push? and force an error. We do here. It's with Ndombele playing that Mazzala role, getting forward. In fact, he's not. Aouar's playing the Mazzala role. Of course, Ndombele, just with the rotation we've got going on, is playing the ball-winning midfielder. And Trincao scores again. He's a man on a mission, the number 65. Perhaps forcing his way into first-team contention. Lovely, lovely finish for him. It does make you wonder, if we were to lose players like Bertrand Traore in the summer or in January, would we have just players who are ready-made to step up? I mean, with finishes like that, maybe we would. 3-0 up after 14 minutes. This is our rotated 11. Let me remind you of that. I know Bordeaux have been struggling, but let's not take it away from us. Let's not downplay this. 3 goals in 4 minutes for us. Trincao was on course for a very quick hat-trick. Unfortunately, it's now been 20 minutes since his last goal. Unacceptable, if you ask me. Ball whipped in here. Gnanon hits the crossbar with it. I mean, I almost feel bad for Bordeaux. They've just sacked their manager, and this is what they get in the first game back. Guingamp are winning 3-0 against PSG. Neymar has just pulled one back. Only 30 minutes gone as well. You'd expect PSG to fight back there, but Guingamp, hold on. Do it for us. I mean, boys, I'm very happy. 3-0, we can just get a deck chair out, get a martini on the sideline, and enjoy this second half, I feel like. Bordeaux haven't done a great deal. We've dominated. I mean, they've literally... they've not done a lot, have they? Let's be honest. Dani Olmo's not had the best game out on the left-hand side. Let's bring in Terrier for him, just because Terrier does need the first-team football. But, wow, what a performance this has been in these last 2 league games. Our rotated 11 showing that they are no slouches, that they are very much good enough at this level to do well. You can see here, Montpellier now losing to Monaco, of course. Montpellier going strong. Normally that wouldn't be a good result for us, but given Monaco's start to the season, I don't really see them as a rival. And Montpellier, at least prior to our game against them, were a team that were looking like they could be a bit of a thorn in our side. But if they were to slip up here and we can win this game as convincingly as we currently are, it's going to help us out massively. Anyway, Bordeaux trying to get the ball forward. It falls to Denayer. Trincao looking for the hat-trick out on that right-hand side. It's been a while since our last goal. Could we have one here? Memphis, lovely build-up play. Denayer whips it in. Terrier's there. Is it a foul? Are we going to VAR? Is Trincao going to take this if it is a penalty? I hope he does, because he deserves a hat-trick. He's been great in training. He's put in a great performance in this game thus far, and the game before. I think I might be Trincao's biggest fanboy, I'm going to be honest. And he does award the penalty. Is Trincao going to step up to take it? He is, on his left peg. Can he score it? Of course, what a penalty. Top bins, top left corner. I almost want to get a Lyon shirt with his name on the back. Would that be weird? Maybe I'm getting a bit reactionary. He scored a hat-trick, but it is only his 3rd league game of the season and his 6th senior league appearance. I mean, the fans love him. I love him. The whole of Portugal love him. What can we make? I mean, he could get a 4th. Denayer's been great down this right-hand side as well. Whips into Terrier to Ndombele. Can he score? Justify the wage rise. Memphis. Aouar hits it. It's 5-0 here. Lovely finish by Aouar as well. Cheeky celebration. Pretends to be a chicken. Memphis with the assist. I mean... It's a party. Blow up some balloons or something. I've got my martini and my deck chair out. I want it to be more party though. Can we get speakers? A DJ maybe? I mean, we literally have a DJ in our team. So what am I talking about? He's not on the bench for today's game. He's up in the stand, watching from above. But well, we're not going to complain. 5-0 here. Great performance. Nîmes have just equalised against Marseille. That could be a big result for us at the top of the table. Did PSG bottle it? I didn't check the top left. They did bottle it. They lost 3-1. And with this result, we go ahead of them in the league and have a game in hand, which I'm absolutely loving. Did Nîmes not hold on in the end? Did the Nîmes? Oh, Nîmes got the equaliser. Of course they did. I mean, shout out to Nîmes against Marseille getting a draw. Was there any other big results here? Lille drew away from home and Montpellier slipped up. All the teams behind us struggled. Guingamp in 5th. Maybe we're underestimating them a little bit, but yeah, they've just beaten PSG. I mean, I don't want to say it too loudly, but with most of the teams, you know, having played 15 games this season, I kind of feel like the league is now ours to lose. Anyway, you can see here, Markovic had a great game again for Auxerre. Cornet, not such a great game. Jadas played but didn't play too well. Kanate played okay. Trincao, man of the match. You're going to be on the bench for the Champions League fixture. Don't worry about the reserve game midweek. You're not going to be needed for that. Anyway, let's change things up here. Oh, he's not registered. He's not registered. Okay, well, he can't be on the bench for the Champions League game because someone didn't register him. I will now look at myself with shame. I feel like Martinez has to play ahead of Dembele in the Champions League just because of his goal-scoring escapades. The rest of the team, though, I feel like does kind of pick itself. Moreno struggling a little bit with fitness. Just going to rest the likes of Ndombele, Depay, Martinez, players who are struggling a little bit. I'm just wondering if I want to play Saint-Maximin ahead of Depay again. Depay has put in some better performances as of late, but Traoré has been a little bit hit and miss. I think for now we're going to go with this. We're going to demote Saint-Maximin just because Depay has played pretty well in the last 2 league games. Trincao gets an injury, but well, now he doubly couldn't have played in the Champions League because even if he was fit, even if he was registered, he would have been injured. Looking at the Barcelona team, is Messi out injured again? What's happened with Messi? He's injured again. Out for 3 to 6 weeks. I mean, has Messi just died in this save game? If we just look at his injuries. Got a hip injury, out for 6 weeks. Had a twisted ankle previously. I mean, the wheels have come off the Messi wagon. You can see here he's had a lot of injuries since the save started. That's a little bit weird to see that many. Arta is unhappy and wants a new contract. I quite like Arta. I'd like to sign him, but I don't have £50 million laying around, unfortunately, because we spent 40 of it on Moise Kean. Bored. Nah, I can't. I kind of have to take some of the blame, I feel like. How is Moise Kean doing? I feel like we should check up on him. How are you doing? He's playing for the reserve Juventus team. He's not scoring a great deal, but his average ratings have been okay. He has also played 1 game for them in Serie A where he did score. David Diaz, our other player who we've agreed to sign, 17 years old Colombian, doesn't join us for another year and a couple of months. He looks very blooming good, doesn't he? I'm excited about David Diaz. Please continue to improve. We could sell on the Jean-Philippe Mateta sell-on clause that we have with Mainz. I mean, he looks pretty good. We have a 20% sell-on clause. 20% of the next profit we will take. I can't see him getting sold on for profit. I've got to be honest. He joined them from us for £7 million, 7.25. And he hasn't played that great for them. I'm just going to take £500,000 for him, I think. Because £500,000 is some good money. Just wondering how I want to approach this game against Barcelona. The logical part of me says play the controlling style of play. The part of me that likes to play aggressive and attacking says, you know what, direct attacking. Just go all guns blazing against Barcelona at home. I feel like we can't go toe-to-toe to them in a complete passing game and really kind of testing our players on a man-for-man kind of technical level. But I do feel like we have a chance if we play... I don't know, if we play more attacking and we just try and outscore them. Of course, we could always switch systems as things go on. Luis Suarez, apparently the player we've got to be most wary of. He is pretty good, isn't he? Even at 32, he's pretty good in FM terms, it'd be fair to say. Some might say scarily good. I'd say good. I'm not scared of him. We're not scared of anyone here. You can see here, Max again playing for Metz. Not having the best average ratings, but I don't know if it's just me. In FM19, kind of more defensive central midfielders, the deeper centre mids, just don't seem to get higher average ratings than the rest of their team. You can see here, Depay has signed a new contract. I feel like it's good just to get him on a new contract for the sake of happiness. We are going to up his asking price a little bit now because I don't really plan to sell him. I'm hoping that he's going to start stepping things up. He's been in some good form as of late. 2 assists in that last game. The game before that got a goal. A little bit before that he went on a rough run. But all in all, he has been a very solid player for us this year. Every player's going to have, some rough patches. It's just, can he come through them? Rashford's back and fit, but I just don't know where he fits into the team. I brought in Rashford thinking he'll stay fit, he'll be that reliable alternative to Dembele. He's had injuries, he's not been that reliable. And as a result, it's kind of just a case of maybe, especially with Moise Kean coming in, maybe he's just going to be fourth choice striker for us. Anyway, you can see here how things look. We take on Barcelona today. Our last game of the group stage is going to be against Salzburg. Barcelona's is going to be against Bayern. Now, what does that mean? It means if Barcelona were to beat us today, it would go to head-to-head, I believe. I now want to check this to be certain, but I'm pretty sure the Champions League rule tiebreaker is head-to-head. If we look at it here, where is head-to-head? We're looking at the playoffs. That's why I can't see it. Funnily enough, you don't have head-to-head in the playoffs. So yeah, results between teams, then goal difference. So the first leg was a 0-0 draw away from home. I don't know if away goals come into it, but if they do, a away scoring draw isn't ideal for us. If we can draw this game, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because we'd stay even on points with them and know that they've got to go and play Bayern and get a result. At the same time, a win here allows us to take kind of our fate into our own hands, and I would much rather be in that position than in a position here where we play for a draw, hope that we can beat Salzburg and hope that Bayern do us a favour. It might be naive, it might be stupid, but I am going to play the direct passing, kind of attacking style of play, the one where we don't let it get bogged down in the midfield. As I said, Barcelona, terrific team when it comes to their technical capabilities. If we want to try and control possession against them, I feel like we're up against a losing battle. You know, I'd be more inclined if we do struggle in this game early on to switch to the more kind of compact midfield setup. But at least to start this game at home, I want to play positive. I want to play attacking and at least know that we tried to get the win, because I think a win is what we do need here realistically. Anyway, chance here. Memphis switch the play to Traore. Martinez is there. He's offside. Don't celebrate it. I mean, it's a good finish, but it's offside. And I'm pretty sure VAR is going to confirm this here. But, well, at least we carved them open early on. He was off by a couple of yards. It wasn't even close. I did notice the linesman gave it. Lenglet on a booking's a tiny bit concerning. Against his former club, you know, you expect a feisty affair. You expect him to throw in a few tackles, but he's got to be well behaved now. Ball back post to Wallace. Not a bad effort, just wide of the mark. Another free kick here. We're looking for Wallace again. Of course we are. Lenglet hits it. Ndombele. Can someone find the back of the net? What just happened? It's trickled in. I don't know how it's found the back of the net. We're going to take it. I'm not going to complain. It's been given to Memphis. Deserves the new contract, clearly. Ndombele with the assist as well. You can see here, cleared away. I mean, I don't know what's happened there, because I feel like the 3D match engine hasn't accurately shown what the match engine saw in 2D. It doesn't matter. We're going to take the goal and not complain about it. Depay's now on a booking. Don't throw yourself around. Don't ruin it for yourself. You've just got a new contract. You're playing well. You've scored. Are we about to get a penalty? We're going to VAR. I'm doing the VAR hand signal. I've hit my microphone. It's going well. I mean, if we could get a second here, it would be huge. It's a case of, is it going to be given? Fekir will be the man to step up for it. I mean, Jordi Alba, the man under the microscope here. What is the referee going to conclude? A penalty would be massive for us. We'd still need to score it. And it is going to be a penalty. It's going to be Fekir. He's not missed one all year. It would be pretty typical of Football Manager if he missed the one that matters the most. Fekir steps up, hits it, ter Stegen saves it. I knew it. I just had this gut instinct. I can't quite explain it. We've had a goal disallowed. We've scored one. We've had a penalty missed. We could be further ahead than we are. We've got another set piece. We're causing them all kinds of problems here. Wallace, back post, wins it. I think that hit the woodwork. The Stegen collects, but they are on the back foot. We have Barcelona on the ropes here. Chance after chance after chance. We're 1-0 up. I'm going to still tell the players I'm far from pleased. We need more goals whilst we're playing this well. Just wondering, in terms of average ratings, is anyone playing particularly poor? Fekir missed a penalty, so it's always going to be bad for him. Bertrand Traore out on the right isn't doing too well. I'm going to bring in Saint-Maximin. Fresh pair of legs out on that right-hand side. Mendy, what are you doing? Needless foul. Needless. They're on the attack here. with Rakitic. We dominate the first half. We didn't make enough of it count, I feel like, on the scoreline. They are going to come at us at this second half, and well, within 2 minutes they've done just that. Luis Suarez with the goal, Arthur with the assist. And that's disappointing. That is disappointing. We dropped down to third. I believe that is down to the away goal that now Barcelona have in the head-to-head. Because, of course, we drew against them in the first leg. We've drawn against them in this one, but they have an away goal. We played so well in the first half. That missed penalty could prove crucial. I mean, Barcelona looking much improved in this second half early on. They cross it to Coutinho. They score again. The whole momentum of the game shifted. It feels like on that miss. I don't even feel like it's a tactical thing at this point. I feel like the wind has been taken out of our sails. And additionally, this has just come from a throw-in. Who is that at the back post? It's Wallace. Just not picking up his man well enough. 25 minutes left. We've got a chance here maybe. Mendy throws it in. Is that going to be a penalty? It looked outside the box. I don't think this is a penalty. I think this has happened outside the box, so I'm not even going to celebrate it. We will find out in just a second. But I don't think it was in the box. I mean, it's great that we have the video referee to, you know, make sure of these things. And, well, yeah, you can see it there. It is going to be a free kick this time, which is a teeny bit disappointing. Rakitic given a yellow card, though, could prove crucial as the game goes on. You never know. They could have a sending off. It could swing the game in our favour. Fekir, I know you've missed a penalty. You need to clear your head. I need a moment of magic. More than ever. Toussaint to Mendy. Can he get it in? Dinks it back post. Cleared away. Ndombele. Have a go. Have a go. Not far over. 20 minutes left. We are knocking on the door here. You'd have to say we deserve at the very least a draw from this game. Going to make some changes. You know what? Fekir's not been able to clear his head. Martinez has, in typical fashion, vanished. We'll bring in Dembele for him. A double change in the final third. Maybe Aouar, the youngster, can breathe some new life into this team. He's going to have the ball here. Hits it! That was not far over by Aouar. I admire the confidence to take it on from there. 8 minutes left. I feel like one goal isn't even enough here, so we need two. Aouar again. Wide to Mendy. If we get a goal here, it gets interesting with 8 minutes left. Aouar on off the bench. Take a bow, my son. Lovely finish. Strokes it away. Mendy. I mean, Mendy's getting a lot of assists. He might well have fought his way into first team contention ahead of Moreno for me now. Cue him now getting sent off for a second yellow, but whips it in here. Aouar just tucks it away sublimely. Guides it in. We do still need another goal, I think, in this game, so we're going to stay on very attacking. We're going to continue to go for it. I feel like we are the team in the ascendancy now. Look at the chances. They've had 5 shots on 4 on target. We've had 27 shots in total. Go on, St. Maximin. Marauding at the defence, now with Aouar. I mean, he's looking like a game changer to Tete. Crosses it in. Players queuing up. Toussaint hits it, it deflects in. Lucas Toussaint, you beautiful, beautiful man. I'm actually now going to switch to the controlling style of play. Not overcommit men going forward here. Oh my gosh, what a goal this is. Tete, I mean, it's deflected in, I think, off PK. Or Semedo it might be. Who is that? It's Umtiti actually in the centre. I'm not going to complain one little bit. Right, blow the whistle now, ref. 5 minutes of added time for us to hold on for what would be a historic win against Barcelona. Make no mistake, this would be massive. We made a bold call before this game to play attacking. You'd have to say we have murdered them this game. It's a miracle they've scored 2. They created clear-cut chances. They took them, to be fair to them. I mean, don't score now. Just blow the whistle, ref. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Please. That's got to be all she wrote, right? Not like this. Oh my gosh. Lopez holds on to it. The ref puts us out of our misery. That is massive for us. I think we will get out of the group now with that. Barca have to go and beat Bayern. And then even then it would be on head-to-head. And we'd be through. So we're through, right? I think that's enough. I think that's job done, if I'm not mistaken. It is job done. I mean, what am I talking about? That's massive. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about going into the next game, but of course, we now have the better head-to-head record. I mean, what a result that is. I'm now sat back in my chair in a bit of disbelief. We have managed to, well, beat Barcelona at home and draw against them away from home. What a performance. Toussaint, 7.4 with the crucial goal. At the start of the year, I said he was the unsung hero. I've been building my blooming statue. He's been top-notch for us. Really has been just absolutely insane for us this year. Oh, boy. I mean, we're turning into the kings of the late goals, aren't we? After the win against PSG last time out. And now that result there. I feel like at 2-1 down, it would have been easy to panic. But we kind of stuck to our guns, stuck with what we knew, and it came out trumps. And all in all, even with that Bayern result there, you'd have to say another episode of very, very good results for us. Really couldn't ask for anything more. In terms of what we've got next time, we've got Saint-Etienne, Toulouse, who are in 10th. Saint-Etienne in 13th. A few teams who are underperforming. We have got Guingamp as well, who beat PSG. So we really can't afford to underestimate them at all. But I mean, look at that league table. Drink it in. We are looking top draw right now. I am a very happy bunny at this moment in time. Hopefully we can just keep this going from this point onwards now and we'll continue to play as we are. The goals have been very well spread. Interesting to note, the player with the most ground covered in the league is Shadas. Shout out to you, my friend. You work hard. 12 work rate apparently and 13 stamina. But this boy loves to run. Oh boy, I'm on a bit of a high after that result. I don't even know what I'm saying. What a performance. Toussaint and Aouar. I mean, Aouar on off the bench. I'm taking full credit for that change. Difference maker for us though. He has been top draw this year. Let's just have a look at his development since 12 months ago. You can see here, work rate's gone up by 2. Long shots has gone up by 1. Just lots of improvement across the board. Hopefully we're going to continue to see that from him. He's only 21. Still a player who can very much grow. And, well, I'm keen to see that growth in the coming kind of time, I guess. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode from me. What a result. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. If you have enjoyed today's episode, as always, do drop a like on it. And, yeah, I will see you guys again very, very soon. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.